And we're just about set to get underway. It's going to be Jonathan Griffin and Sam Naismith in the ruck. Fremantle kicking to the right of screen if watching on. Ball held aloft. And we're just about set to go. The Pride Cup between the Sydney Swans and Fremantle Dockers. A stalemate in the ruck. Griffin did the roving work. Coming through strongly, Sheridan. He was wrapped up and we'll see a secondary stoppage. Wind's died down a little bit, which the players will certainly appreciate. As we see a lot of players around the footy. Parker tried to fashion a kick forward. Fife dived on top of it. Ball locked in. I really don't see players going too far there. And Brogues, that's what you often see. They just put the feelers out initially.
Yeah, these two teams love it in close, love a contested footy. I think we'll see a lot of stoppages today.
A first meaningful disposal off the boot of Hanbury inside 50. And to Buddy Franklin, who tries to just paddle to his own advantage. Then Towers had it, lost it. Pike bent down, won it back. Franklin, the quick kick on the left foot to the hot spot. Trapped well by Kieran Jack, trying to get the handball away. As we expected, it's fierce in that defensive half. Well done, Hanbury. Out the back to Parker. Shaw, look out. He was tackled well by Main, and that'll be holding the ball. Good tackle there, Dean Brogan.
Yeah, Fremantle have really come to play today. Their pressure's been enormous in the first couple of minutes.
One of the Greyhound Racing Victoria chase of the day contenders. We spoke about Chris Main in the lead up to this game. That one an iffy option. Sat on the head of Johnson, but he earned the free kick. And he tried to evade Franklin. He's in a world of strife. Just got hand to the footy, but the Swans a chance. Kennedy off to Kieran Jack, tight angle, but he threads the eye of a needle well in hitting the chest of Pike. Unfortunately for Swans fans, it bounced off his chest and out for a throw-in. Deep inside their attacking zone, left forward pocket. And the wind favouring that end of the ground in this opening term for MG Trading. Griffin rises high, uncontested, just double palms it down. Fife had it and looked to lay it off to Johnson. Ball now with Kennedy, off to Parker, who handballs over his head. Main clattered into Franklin solidly. Fife tried to take on a few. He's got to be careful. In the end, he was just shuffled across the boundary line and the ball will be tossed back in 40 from the Sydney attacking goal. All players in one half of the ground, that being the Sydney attacking half. Which means an exit's going to be difficult for Fremantle to find as Kennedy breaks a tackle. Chance for the Swans there. There's Lloyd coming through. His kick errant. And Silvani, a bit of time and space, can draw the opponent if he likes. Eventually did so. Well corralled in the end. Stephen Hill had a busy week last week. 23 disposals in his first hit out. Just a sloppy start. Rampy off to Cunningham. And Hanbury pushed over the line. So a scrappy start, but a high-intensity start, Dean Brogan.
Yeah, it reminds me of playing at the SCG when it was a really small ground. It was a very contested, very sloppy sorts of games, a real grind. And I think it's going to play into Sydney's hands if it keeps going like this.
Well, for those watching on, you can see the 50 arcs pretty much intersect with the centre circle. So the ground about 150 metres in length, which by AFL standards nowadays is short. Neither side has scored on the visit albury-wodonga.com scoreboard. Great part of the world, and they did such a fantastic job in hosting yesterday's game between Richmond and Port Adelaide. As Fremantle through Ibbotson at half-back have a chance just to relieve the pressure. He loads up, kicks long to a whole host of players on that outer side wing. Chance for Zach Clark. He tried to break a tackle, then was pushed. And probably played it well in the end. Brogues just dropped his knees, drew the free kick as Pavlich didn't quite get hand to footy to execute that handball. Crozier showed good evasive skills as the Dockers through Sheridan. Move it inside 50. Main almost the mark. And in the end, trickled over the boundary line for a throw-in.
It's very rusty, isn't it? Main would normally swallow them up for regulation mark, just drops.
Dean Brogan for tatsbet.com. It's your home of AFL betting. Tristan Fernando, my name. Great to be here in Drummoyne. The footy festival that is the NAB Challenge. And today supporting the fantastic initiative of the NAB Pride Cup. Ball thrown up. Griffin a little bit too strong there for Naismith. And that's something that we're seeing slowly but surely emerge in the early stages of this game. As the ball's out the back, Neal goes round the corner. Pavlich was pushed into. Umpire said nothing doing. as the ball's locked in, and the Swans desperately out of defence through Ted Richards as Hill rose high. Double-fisted it to the advantage of Sheridan. Franklin tried to stand up in a tackle, and now they're away. Some outside space. If it sits for Parker, didn't initially. He did well to get back on top of it, and he was ripped off the footy as the Dockers continue with their insane defensive pressure. And Fife on the outer side, true centre wing position, slung to the turf and taken to ground. Full Circle Financial Group. Brogues, anything that stands out?
There's already been 13 tackles and we've been going 5 minutes, Tristan, so you can pretty much tell the mindset of these two teams. They have come to play, and there is not 1 inch of space out there at the moment.
Invest with Full Circle, fcfinancial.com.au. As the Dockers come away from this clearance, Sheridan one way, then looks to retreat out the back. A chance for Neil, who squares it up. Risky option. It might come off. Mzungu, wobbly ball inside 50. And it's a strong mark in the end. He missed a sitter earlier. At this time, Main, a good pair of hands, marks 45 out on a very slight angle.
He's normally a very good kick, Main, but this will be interesting. He's kicking into the teeth of the breeze. But you watch his routine, and we all know he's a absolute gun of a kick, so this will test him.
Didn't have the best time of it in 2014, but has done his very best to try and change his technique, just to make it as solid as it was back in 2013 as he crosses the rainbow paint of 50. He's pulled it left. In fact, it won't score. Ball punched to the tip of the goal square. In fact, it has crossed the line. And we do have our first score of the game. The Dockers way there, one behind. Sydney yet to score. And that on the Visit AlburyWodonga.com scoreboard. As Sydney out this left half-back flank. Work it slowly up the ground. A risky option there by Lloyd. Was well marked by Mitchell. And he'll go short. Franklin a long way from home. Just the defensive side of this broadcast wing for those watching on. Dean Brogan with Tristan Fernanda today. As Franklin's caught in 2 minds. Exchanged it with Shaw. Tried to fend off Blakely. Took him high. And the umpires rightly picked out the free kick too.
Yeah, we look, but if he doesn't look like he's going to get a touch, he will get up the ground and try and lose his opponent, but just try to do too much then.
Connor Blakely, highly regarded, picked 34 in 2014. And he's the type of footballer Ross Lyon enjoys in his side. Puts his head over it, wins the contested ball. And he'll work on developing his outside game as the Dockers raffle it across half-back. Tanner Smith off to Silvani, whose option was risky. And will come back with purpose because Kennedy lays it off to Jeddah, who looks to a one-on-one inside 50. Silvani and Franklin. Well done, Silvani, in the end. Didn't infringe. All out the back, out for a throw-in. 5 metres around in the left-forward pocket for the Sydney Swans Brogues.
Yeah, Buddy won out. You'd normally back him 9 times out of 10 there. It just shows where we are. It's his first game back this year, and overhead contested marking is probably the last thing you get with your touch.
The ball tossed back in. Johnson doing the ruck work as Mundy makes it someone else's problem. Tries to tumble it outside defensive 50. And Richards content to see that one over the boundary line. That's Ted Richards. Xavier also in the side, but as a sub today. And the ball to be thrown back in. Left half forward for Sydney. Naismith front position, but Griffin reached over the top, won it down as Mundy came through strongly. One possession for Fremantle, but it's only momentarily because Smith laid it off to Laidler. Had to be quick, did well. So too Kennedy. Now Rowan elected to go on his right foot, that check side inside 50. Pike couldn't control it. Mundy there to lend a helping hand. Got it backwards by hand to Hill, who went round the corner. De Boer taken high, I thought. Umpire said nothing doing. He was in good position. And the ball to be tossed up. Paid of 50, left half forward for the Swans.
Geez, Fremantle really on top in the ruck here. It's 10 hit-outs to 1. Let's see as the game progresses if they can get some advantage out of that.
Now the Swans in the free kick there. Robinson, who played last week. Local boy from Mossman. So good to see his continued development. And with the Dockers one behind, Sydney yet to score. They'll look to record their first major. It'll test him. He kicks from 55. He's made fairly good contact. Hangs it right. The breeze so far this afternoon has been bringing balls back from that right-hand goal post, but that time it stayed gun barrel straight. Punched through for a minor score by Zach Clark. So we're tied up again. Almost 10 minutes into this game. MG Trading opening term. Sydney 1, Dockers 1. And Sutcliffe had his kick smothered. Danger times for Fremantle. As it again is smothered. Silvani had it, lost it. Adam Goods, can he hit it with purpose? He did so, but couldn't get a clean possession. Robinson out the back. Towers the snap. It's been touched. So remarkable defensive pressure early on, Dean Brogan. And it seems like it's a game of soccer. Sydney 2 behind. Fremantle 1. AlburyWodonga.com scoreboard.
Both teams' pressure is absolutely outstanding at the moment, and that's what these two teams love to do. They're very good at it.
Chance for the Swans once again. Grundy was taken to ground. Parker came through strongly. It's the only way he knows. Well done by Smith. Off to Kieran Jack, whose kick inside 50 is out to the path of Pike. He's got Johnson hot in his hammer. Did well just to swat at the direction of Brandon Jack, who had this quick snap on goal, missed to the near side. And another minor score. Sydney 3 behind. Fremantle the 1 behind. 11 minutes opening term for MG Trading, and get down to MG Trading from fertiliser to fence posts. MG Trading has you covered. And this, the continued coverage of the 2015 NAB Challenge. We hope you've enjoyed it so far. As Blakely has it in hand, left back pocket for Fremantle, elects to go down the line. Come back though, well done by Lloyd. Out the back to Rampy, who wants his preferred left boot. Flies with a high ball inside 50. Hiscox tried the mark. Cunningham with the left foot snap, does very well and kicks the first goal of the afternoon. Well, as we know, Brogues, you kick long to an open forward line, anything can happen, and the Swans at ground level. Heaney combining with Cunningham to convert the goal.
Yeah, the pressure coming from Sydney in the last 5 minutes was enormous, and they had a couple of opportunities and they really nailed that one. Fremantle's backline was under the pump, and you look at the disposal count, Sydney 55, Fremantle 38. They're totally dominating at the moment. The last 5 minutes, they've really taken stranglehold of this game.
And that's on the Full Circle Financial stats sheet. Invest with Full Circle Financial Group. Save up to 50k. Visit fcfinancial.com.au today, because you deserve it. So an 8-point lead to Sydney early stages of this game. Mundy did well in the centre. Keen to get his stats in a moment. Pearce's kick was smothered. Chance for Towers, who's been lively so far. Went round the corner inside 50. Tough challenge there for Heaney. Had Johnson for company. And Johnson, in the end, draws the free kick. Was taken high. Will look to rebound for Fremantle. Spots up Walters on a long lead. He takes a strong mark too. A handy property mark of the day contender. He doesn't have any one-on-ones really to kick to, so elected to go in the Pavlich direction. Parker slung as he got rid of it. The Swans now a chance. They find some space. Kennedy content to tumble it inside 50. Fremantle pushes numbers back with purpose, but well done by the Swans. Towers off to Hanbury. The snap was brilliant, and they've got 2 in the space of 2 minutes.
Geez, Towers looks good, doesn't he? He's really causing some headaches for Fremantle on that half-forward line.
The Swans 2-3-15. Fremantle 1 behind after 13 minutes on the Visit AlburyWodonga.com scoreboard. And it's been important for him to have an impact in the NAB Challenge, Bros, because he's been waiting in the wings. They invested heavily to get him in the first round of the AFL draft. And now really showing the fruits of what Sydney has actually invested in him in terms of development.
He looks good. He's a good size. He looks clean. He looks clean with his hands, and looks like he might be able to play a role for Sydney up forward this year.
So back now in the centre, Andy lead for the Swans. It was Freo who started the brighter of the two sides, but now Sydney hitting back with the first 2 goals. 14-point lead. Once again, a lot of players around the footy. Sydney wins out, although Mitchell couldn't get clean possession. Robinson played the quick handball off to Kieran Jack, went round the corner. Here's Heaney. He tried to break a tackle, did well, laid it off to Cunningham, who also showed strength. Now Bird throws ball to boot, bounces towards the goal line, and lucks a fortune once again for Sydney. Their pressure good, their attack even better, and they've kicked 3 in 3 minutes, Dean Brogan.
Yeah, centre bounce goal. Parker, Kennedy, Jack, all the usual suspects have really got Sydney settled and adjusting to what sort of game we're here to see today. And Fremantle just look really, really rusty and not sure what they're doing at the moment. They look a bit unsettled, but Sydney are just making the most. Kennedy's got 8 possessions, Parker 7. You know, that's their engine room, getting their hands on it.
Dean Brogan in the expert comments chair today for tatsbet.com. Visit Tatsbet. You can download the app to bet on the widest range of AFL markets this season. And the Dockers with some thinking to do. Sydney out to an early 20-point lead. Back in the centre. Pike there with Griffin. Well done, Griffin. He's just trying to nudge it in the Fife direction. Neil, the look-away handball back to Fife. He's kick a grubbing ball to right half forward. Trapped nicely by De Boer, who turns on a 10-cent piece. Valentine couldn't take the mark. Neil followed up really well. Got it off to Subin, who trickles one in towards the hot spot. Neil followed up once again. Valentine not sure what to do, so he went out the back. Centre half forward, Johnson stripped of it. The ball later handball to Sutcliffe, who has to drive it once again inside 50. Tall timber there for the Dockers, but a sensational mark taken by Ted Richards. Henty property mark of the day contender, and Henty Beachfront Holiday Park, 5 years guaranteed rent. Waterfront villas are now available. As the ball's still in dispute, like the early work of Griffin, Brogue. Get your thoughts in a moment as Neil showed good twinkle toes. A chance for 5, closing into 30. He shouldn't miss this, but does. Across the face of goal, misses to the left-hand side, and the Dockers doing it the slow way. They're 2 behind. Sydney 3-3-21, 16 minutes opening term.
Yeah, Sydney's just closing space so well. Defensive pressure so good. Fife would normally kick them, just too rusty at the moment. Here's Sydney on the attack again. They look really sharp today, Tristan.
Goods to a one-on-one. Towers with Sutcliffe. Good defensive pressure applied by Sutcliffe. The kick, it has to be said, was deep and wide. And the ball eventually out of play to be tossed in 10 metres around from the right-hand behind post.
Yeah, like you said before, Griffin for Fremantle started really well. He's getting his hands on it, but just not getting enough out of his first use yet.
Here he is once again, this time uncontested. Just guides it down. Bird first there for Sydney. Franklin tried to get around a few players. Did well initially, but then coughed it up with the handball. Parker in solidly, so too to ball. As Subin is sat on by Mitchell, and the umpire quickly on the scene to throw it up. 30 metres out from Sydney's goal. Might be the story of the day with lots of players around this football. Goods with the quick handball. Umpire said it was legal. He wins it back. Lays it out the back to Jetta. Look out. He's taken to the ground by Clark in a strong tackle. Umpire again called play on. As Goods near the boundary line near Tanner Smith is happy to see it out. And the ball largely at that end of the ground will be thrown in once again. 45 metres from Sydney's goal this time. Good crowd here in attendance. Drummoyne, a beautiful part of the world. Great to see people sitting on an open hill space, doing it the old-fashioned way, Brogues.
It's a great venue, great atmosphere down here. Really enjoying being here.
Yes, Fremantle had an opportunity to break. It was Walters who wasn't precise with the kick for Griffin, and the big lumbering ruckman couldn't quite rake it in before the boundary line. The ball will be tossed in. Outer wing position. As Naismith was favoured by that throw-in. Umpire let play go. Kennedy, the quick hands, off to Lloyd. Chain of handballs, they do well. Laidler got it to Jetta. Now Shaw from right half back. Just measures the situation well. The short kick to Parker, who drives it up towards attacking 50. No mark taken. Well done by the big man Smith for Fremantle. Although they've coughed it up, such has been the pressure of Sydney. And the ball, in the end, wrenched out the back. Sheridan tries to stand up. He can't get hand to footy. Umpire continuing to let play go. And in the end, he decides to come in and break things up. 60 from the Sydney goal. They lead 3-3-21. Fremantle 2 behind. First quarter for MG Trading.
Sydney really dominating contested possession. 37 Sydney, 24 Fremantle. That's where they're winning the game at the moment, doing all the hard stuff.
And disposals generally 88-61 in favour of the Swans on the Full Circle Financial Group stat sheet. They'll add to that, although a free kick's been given away. It's going the way of Lockie Neal. He put his head over the football, drew the free kick, and then went the short ball to Crozier, long way from home. Peering off so very well, Sydney, when in defence. Important transition that players make from offence to defence. separates the good from the best, and Sydney doing it really well so far this afternoon. Fremantle still has it. Neil followed up his original kick. Blakely tried to go backwards by hand to Griffin. Now a chance for Crozier. He overran it after gaining possession initially. And umpire Roseberry's picked a free kick out. Subin caught high. Looks to play on, drives it inside 50. And again, that good pair of hands, Chris Mayne. He marks on a purposeful lead, 35 out. Left forward pocket, slightly worse than a 45-degree angle.
Still test him. I think he's kicking into a 3-4 goal breach, Tristan. What do you think?
Significant. And he thought it had died down when the game had started, but it's persistent, and it is blowing very, very strongly towards the Sydney attacking end of the ground. As we said, quite similar to the conditions Fremantle faced in their first outing at their home ground against Melbourne, as Mayne shoots towards goal and pushes it across the face through for a minor score. Fremantle now 3 behinds. Sydney 3-3, 21. 21 minutes into this first term for MG Trading. And Sydney goes long back into play. Bird marks uncontested. Smith running off half-back. Tries to inject some run. Kennedy there, loops it backwards the way of Bird. Now Heaney, plenty of space to size things up. His kick not great on his left foot over the head of Parker. And Mzungu wanted one thing only, that was the boundary line. And the ball out of play to be tossed in 30 around from Sydney's goal.
You can tell Fremantle are just quite off the ball at the moment. That was too easy from Sydney from a kick in. Easy kick in straight into inside 50. Fremantle coaching staff wouldn't be too happy about that.
Well, spinning back into play, Clark on it down. Quick hands were from Mitchell to Hanbury, whose flying shot has just sneaked in for a minor score. So 1-1 today for Daniel Hanbury. Sydney 3-4-22. Fremantle 3 behinds. 22 minutes on the Visit AlburyWodonga.com scoreboard. As Hill plays on, tries to gain as much yardage as he can, although it was ill-directed. Naismith couldn't take the mark. The ball will enter forward 50 once again. Laidler in the Parker direction. Punched away from him. Franklin did well. Bent down, picked it up, laid it off to Goods, who had 3 to pick out. He didn't find any of them. And fortuitously for Fremantle supporters and coaching staff, they escaped the danger as Fife just saunters along this broadcast wing. Towers corrals, did well to apply pressure. Fife's kick over the head of Pavlich, well trapped by Heath Grundy. Gave Smith a chance, although Jetta lost it. Now Ballantyne picked it up. He was caught.
Terrific pressure.
And that one, a Greyhound Racing Victoria Chase of the Day contender from Nick Smith. One of the premier small defenders in the competition, Brogues.
Terrific pressure. Sydney defensively have been spot on today. You just saw Fremantle then just turning the ball over going inside 50. Just shows Fife's just off the boil with his first game back. He'd normally hit that target.
Just dusting off the cobwebs after injuring that hamstring at training a few weeks ago. Doesn't seem to be all that severe given he's out there today. And Sydney just working through traffic beautifully. Jack closing in on 50. Pulls from the arc. And unfortunately pulls it across the face of goal as well.
They got lucky again there, Fremantle. 3 went to the ball carrier then, let Jack slip out the back, and Jack had normally kicked them.
So Johnson kicks to himself, runs 15 or so metres, then again kicks poorly, and they've chopped it off once again. So really finding the exit kick difficult as Laidler mark, kicked to a one-on-one. Rowan did well to dispose of Johnson. Kieran Jack went off the deck. Ricochets around in there, eventually rushed through for a behind. Sydney continuing to tick over the scoreboard. 3-6-24 now. Fremantle 3 behinds.
Look at the disposal difference. Sydney 109, Fremantle 73. They just can't get their hands on it, Fremantle.
As the siren sounds to end a scrappy opening term, Swans fans will be happy. They take a 21-point lead into the first change. At quarter time, it's Sydney 3-6-24. Fremantle 3 behinds on the Visit AlburyWodonga.com scoreboard. We'll take a quick break. Come back from here in Drummoyne, celebrating the NAB Pride match between Sydney and Fremantle. And this is the ongoing coverage of the 2015 NAB Challenge. It's just another way NAB's doing more to fortify Australia.